Hi, this is Amber Garvey. We're going to look at how you can set up your YouTube channel to house videos that you might use for flipped instruction, tutorials, all sorts of things for your educational environment. So the first thing you're going to want to do is go to youtube.com. You can either type it in the Omni box or go to your waffle menu and click on YouTube. Once you're there, it's important that you log in with your HCPS NC account. So I'm going to click Sign In and log in with my account. Enter your Henderson County username and then enter your password. Click Next. After you log in, you'll notice your picture or your initial for your Henderson County account. What you've basically done is logged into YouTube and let them know that you are using it as an authorized user. So I'm going to click on my icon at the top and look for Create Channel. A channel is something that houses your content. And since we will be using this for educational purposes with our district account, we're going to set up our channel to reflect that. So the first thing that you'll notice is you can upload a picture if you haven't already that will appear in your channel. And you'll want to make sure that you have your official Henderson County name on your channel. Then you'll click Create Channel. This is your main channel homepage so that you can see at the very top, you're going to see your name. If you have subscribers, it will show how many you have, and you'll see some tabs across the top. There are two important buttons. Customize channel and manage videos. These will be very important for you as you set up your channel. So before we even start uploading any content, we're going to need to customize our channel for the purpose that we're going to use it for. So I'm going to click on Customize Channel. And you'll notice if this is since the switch of the old YouTube to the new YouTube, you might see this, but I'm just going to click off of it. So we are in a section called customization, and this looks a little different. So we're going to go through each of the tabs and talk about the things that are specific for your channel. If you wanted to have a video spotlight that was featured on your channel, you can add that at this point. We're going to skip over that because we're just starting to build this section. You can also customize the layout of your channel homepage by creating sections. So you can add sections. So if you want to do a section on videos for students, a section on video tutorials for parents, however you want to do that, you can add your sections here. But again, we're going through the basics. So I'm going to go over to branding. And this is important because you can use a picture to represent yourself. You also can include a banner image that goes across the top. And you'll notice this is your banner image size that's recommended so that it's a panoramic image. So you can upload those. And just as a recommendation, there are some websites that allow you to create free YouTube banners. Canva is one of those sites. So if you wanted to create a customized banner, all you would have to do is upload it here and it would appear at the top of your channel. This is a great place to kind of personalize that. Also, you can decide if you wanted to add a small video watermark onto all your videos. And many times people use this as a place to put their school logo, their district logo, or even a logo for their classroom if they've developed maybe a teacher Bitmoji logo that they use on things. This is where you would upload that. Again, it gives you size information. So these are things you can do if you want to customize, but you don't have to do it. So now let's go to basic info. This is going to be a very important tab on my channel customization. So the first thing you're going to want to do is really include a description of your channel. So this is where you can tell viewers what they're going to see if they come to your channel. So here I've put a brief description of what my channel is about. So let's move past our description and go down to channel URL. You are given a generic channel URL that is unique to your channel. This is the channel URL you will give out if you want viewers to see where all of your videos are housed. In the Add Links section, this is a great place to share links with other viewers. So if your viewers are going to be your students and you have some links you want to share with them, you can add that link here. You can also enter your email address if someone wants to email you, but I'm not going to put that here because the main thing is you want to think about your purpose. And if your purpose of this channel is to simply house videos for your students, there's a lot of these things that you're probably not going to do. A lot of these are based on people who are wanting to set up YouTube as more of a business. So for our educational one, we really just want to have that description and make note of our channel URL. So when you finish that customization, we're going to click Publish. And notice it says go to channel. But before I do that, there are some other settings that are really important to consider. I'm still not yet ready to post videos. So I'm going to go to settings, and these are some very important settings that you're going to want to consider before you start posting content. So we're not going to worry about dollar units because we're not selling our channel, but there are some things that are important to consider. First of all, you're going to want to put your country of residence. This can help with a lot of different features in your channel, so it's good to just go ahead and select that. So once you find your country, you can put that here. Keywords are something that people may search for. If you're going to have a public channel, this is helpful, but if you're just using it with your students, keywords aren't necessary. Let's go in advanced settings, and this is important. YouTube has a way of setting videos that are appropriate for kids or not appropriate for kids, and that's based on COPPA, or the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act. So this is my suggestion. Sometimes I put videos on my HCPS YouTube channel that are specifically for students, and sometimes I make them for teachers. So what I like to do is say, I'm going to let you know on every video that I post whether it's appropriate for students or not. So my entire channel, if I'm only ever going to put things for students on it, then I can say, yes, this is only going to be for students. And what will happen is ads are not personalized. They will still be shown non-personalized ads, but they're not going to start seeing things based on their searches. It also turns off notifications and comments on every video automatically. So if you're only ever going to upload for videos for children, you can go ahead and set this. If you're never going to upload videos for children, which you should not be doing in this case, unless it's just for professional development, this would be no. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, I want to review this for every single video. I'm going to tell you this video is for students, this video is not for students. Now we're going to go ahead down to this bottom part, and I would like to notice that we're going to do some auto closed captioning. And the great thing about YouTube is that when you upload a video, it tries to automatically close caption it. Now, sometimes it makes mistakes and mishears words. So I'm going to say, really, let's not show any potentially inappropriate words in my auto closed captioning. So I do want to put that. Subscriber count. If you want people to know how many people are subscribed to your channel, you can leave this checked. Mine, again, this is for the purpose of including videos for students or professional development because it is an education account. So I really don't care how many people are subscribed. I probably won't have people subscribed. So I'm going to deselect that. This is something that is important to me, is to disable interest-based ads. So it doesn't, I'm not trying to make money off of this video. So I really don't want it prescribing videos based on user searches. So I'm going to go ahead and click to disable that. Feature eligibility. This is important. This is so important. There are two things here that are very important. One is the default is already enabled, which allows me to upload. I can add playlists, I can upload. And so that is already enabled. And you can click on the little checklist and see that's already enabled. This one is really important because often you make videos like this one that are longer than 15 minutes. And unless you go through this step, you are not going to ever be able to post videos that are longer than 15 minutes. So, and you'll also notice live streaming here, and we're going to talk to you about using some live streaming features in another video. So I want to do this. I want to do this, and this does require phone verification, and you'll notice it says eligible, but it's not enabled. So what I want to do is I'm going to verify my phone number. You do need to have access to a phone number. Now, if you hover over this, you're going to be asked for a phone number, and it's going to send a code by text or voice call. So if you don't have a smartphone or phone that gets text, you can still use a landline, but it's a way to protect the community and really prove you're a person. So I'm going to go through the steps of verifying my phone number. So I'm going to click verify phone number, and I can choose here, do I want to text or do I want you to call me? And it's kind of an automated voice that will give me a number. So either way, I'm going to use text because I have text available on the phone that I have. I've got my country here, and now I'm going to put in my cell phone number. So after you enter your phone number, you click Get Code. A code will then be sent to your phone, and you'll get something called a verification code. So I'm going to go ahead and enter my 6-digit code that's entered into the text message. And it will say, the message will say, blank is your YouTube verification code. So you'll know it's coming from YouTube. And I'm going to go ahead and click Submit. At this point, you should get a green check mark that says your phone number has been verified, so that's awesome. So I'm going to go back to YouTube, to my channel customization, and when I come back to this, you'll notice now that's enabled. So now I can use those 15-minute videos, so that's awesome. I don't have to save anything because it's already automatically fixed that. So that was under the channel section. Let's go to Upload Defaults. This is when you upload a video, are there some defaults that you want to set? I do not like to have a default title, a default description, a default tag, but I do like to have a default visibility. Now, a couple things I want to clearly state to you is there are 3 settings you can put on a video. Public means anyone in the world can search for it and watch it. Private means only you and anyone you personally added their Google account to would be able to see it. No one else can search for it or find it. Unlisted means you can't search for it out on the web, but if you have the link to it, you can watch it. So there's still a potential of if someone sends that link to someone else that you didn't intend to have it, they could watch it. So basically, if you have the link, you can watch it. I like to make the default on all my videos private at first because I need to go back and watch it, make sure there weren't any mistakes in it or anything that I need to fix. So I like to leave mine private at first. Under advanced settings, there are some categories. I do like to put education as my category so that's automatically going to show that this channel and the videos on it are really intended for users to be able to use in education. I also like to go in and put my language. So my videos are all in English, but if I were a language teacher that taught in a different language, I would want to choose that. That really helps with closed captioning. So I am going to see here that I have comments. This is important. And if you've noticed, sometimes the most inappropriate things on YouTube are in the comment section. I really do not need anyone to comment on my videos. If I'm going to have dialogue with my students or my professional development participants, we're going to do it in another format, not out loud on YouTube. So I like to disable comments. I also don't really want people to see how others rated it because I'm not about getting more views and more higher ratings. This is just about education. So those were upload defaults. Now let's go to permissions. Permissions are, you can change permissions for your channel. Right now I'm the owner, but if I wanted someone else to be able to help me manage this channel, I could do that. This is really only helpful if you have a co-teacher in your classroom or a co-instructional leader and your channel is just for professional development. If this is just your teacher channel, you're going to want to leave it alone and not add anybody else. This is not where you put the people who view your videos. These are the people who you are allowing to delete and add and that kind of thing. So this is not where you consider students. For the community, these are different filters that you can set. The only thing I'm going to suggest on the community tab is that you go to defaults and that you disable all comments, not just on your videos, but also in something called a discussion tab. For live chats, I'm going to say, let's hold those things that might be inappropriate. So again, this just gives me another way to control it. So after you've made those changes, we're going to click Save. So at this point, we have gone into channel customization and set layout, branding, and basic information. We've also gone down into settings and gone through all these sections and set it appropriately for settings. So now our channel is ready to be used. So now we're ready to actually go and add videos. Now, depending on what page you're on, you'll see a little bit different thing. If you're on your channel, you may see the create button. If you're just on regular YouTube, or if you've gone like back to your main YouTube channel, so if I, instead of studio, if I just go back to regular YouTube, I'm going to just see the icon, but if you hover, it says create. So depending on if you see create, or if you see this little recording with the plus sign, either way, it doesn't matter. When you're ready to upload something, you're going to click on that create button and you'll see two options. In this video, we're focusing on uploading video. We'll talk about the other later. So I'm going to click on upload video, and this is the traditional screen that comes up when you want to upload videos. And you'll notice I can drag and drop them, or I can click select. Either is fine. So I have a video here I want to use, and I'm going to actually drag and drop this video. This is one that I created in another system, but I want to be able to put it on my channel. It could be a screencast or any other variety of things. I'm going to go ahead and make sure I have a good title. So it does put in the name of your video, and sometimes video names are like a series of numbers and letters, so you're going to want to put a title that makes sense. I also always like to put a description so that users know what that video is about. So now that I have my description, I want to talk to you a little bit about thumbnails. YouTube will give you 3 random options for thumbnails that are auto-generated from your video that you upload. I like to make my own thumbnails, and there's a little information at this Learn More where you can see the suggested sizes for thumbnails. But I actually already had one. Now, sometimes I'll let you know that I either create these in like Google Slides, sometimes I go to Canva. There's lots of different things that you can use to make thumbnails. You can use Google Drawings, tons of different ways. But I usually never like the 3 they suggest because they're just some random places in the screen. So what I like to do is upload something. So this is my introduction to Chromebook gestures. And I have a folder called YouTube video covers, and these are all the ones I've made, and this one's on gestures, so I found the one on gestures, and then that puts it as the little thumbnail that's going to show us the picture. Playlists are something we're not going to talk about in this video, but this is where you could go to add a playlist. But I do want to remind you, remember when I chose in my settings that I want to choose for each video whether or not it's made for kids. This is where I'm going to do that. Now, this particular one is made for staff members, so I'm going to say no, it's not for kids. But if this were for my class, I would say yes, it's made for kids, and it would make sure there weren't any personalized ads. Now, you can look down in this advanced section, and it's only about showing is your video appropriate for 18 and over? If you do click on show more, there's just some other things in here where you could add tags. This one's about Chromebooks. So if I wanted to put Chromebooks as a tag, I can put that there. So lots of different things. I could even put the date that I recorded it if I want that to show up. So I recorded it on Wednesday, so I'm going to pick that one, and I can put a location if I like. If I don't want people to be able to embed it in their websites, I can deselect that. And then do you want to give people the ability to create little shorts using parts of the video? If you don't want them to be able to do that, you're going to select that. So just keep going through and seeing what those things are. So what you'll see over to the right is you'll be able to watch your video from here if you want, and if you see the file name, but you'll also see the little copy video link. So this is going to be the link to your video. So I'm going to go ahead and say next. And it's going to ask, do you want to add subtitles? I'm going to let it auto close caption, and then I'll go back later and clean that up because I do want to make sure that my students and parents or whoever's watching it does have the ability to use captions if they need to. And there's some other things. We're not going to talk about end screens and cards, but you can set that up. And then it goes to checks. Now, what it does look for are copyright issues. And while we're here, I do want to make a note that if you put any copyrighted content in your video, it may be restricted from visibility. So if you're creating something, don't put a popular song in the background because you're going to get strikes against you for copyright, and it may not even let you upload it. Or if it does, you may have a community strike. And the more community strikes you have, then your channel can actually get deactivated. So I'm going to make sure I don't do anything to mess with my copyright. And so it says no issues found. So then I'm going to go to next, and it goes to visibility. Remember, I set my default to be private because I wanted to check it before I published it. So I can click here, I can watch it. If it's okay, I can change it from private to unlisted. And remember, private, I could share it with specific email addresses in Google, and they have to actually log in to see it. So I could keep it super private. If I want to just say anybody with the link can watch it, which is what I like to do for Google Classroom, I just post that link in my Google Classroom, and then all the students that have that link can get to it. So I'm going to change it to unlisted. We're going to imagine I've already watched it and checked it. And so then I'm going to say save. And what you'll notice is you're going to get some other ways to share that video. You're going to get the link again, and then it's going to give you some other things, like a ton of different social media platforms you can share it on. But I'm going to just use the link and put it into Google Classroom. But what you'll now notice, here was our channel dashboard. If I go into content, it's going to show me one video that's here. And the more videos that I start having, they're going to just kind of stack up here in this section. You'll be able to see the visibility, and if I needed to change it, I can change it from here. I do want to show you, you can also schedule it to post, which is kind of fun, kind of like you can schedule a post in Google Classroom. It does show that the date that you uploaded it, and for you, it will show it how many times it's been watched and were there any comments made on the video, but remember I turned that off. So this is the way to upload channel content to your YouTube channel. So before we finish with this and move on, I do want to show you what you can do with your video once it's in here. So if I click on it, it's actually going to open it in sort of an editing mode so that I can edit some things about it. Some of this looks familiar, and here, look, it actually picked a pretty good one this time, but there are the other ones that may have been there. And these are all things that you can go in and change if you need to at some point. You can see your analytics, how often. I just put it up, so of course there are no views, but you can see the reach, the engagement, who your audience was. There's lots of information that you may not ever need. And this is also where you can go to review comments or things that are held for review, but I turned off comments, so I'm not going to worry about that. This is where I can go, and if it actually subtitles it, which sometimes can take about 24 hours before they appear, you'll see that it's automatically generated, and you can go in and edit that. But I do want to take you to editor because this is really cool. You can edit and do things on your timeline. So if I click Get Started, I want you to see how it has my video. You can even see the audio there, but you do have the ability to blur parts of your video, which can be helpful if you've got a student's face in there and you need to blur them. There's also some other things that you can do. So you can actually add blurring. You can even put some copyright-free music in the background if you would like, and you can do some trimming. If you do the editing here, it does not change the URL to your video, which is super cool. So you can edit it in using the video editor, save it, and then it didn't change the URL. It just actually edited the video. So that's a super cool thing that you can do as well, but you can give that a try if you'd like. So then if I go back to my channel content, this again is where all my videos are going to live. So I hope that you've learned some things about a simple setting up your YouTube channel, making sure the settings are secure for use in the educational environment, and how to upload videos and get them ready for your students or your professional development participants.